So, Lewis messaged me around a week ago or something asking if I wanted to play the new Incursion in the Division 2. And I said I'll try and free up some time, see what I can do, and we'll jump on and play. So, today was that day. I got Pete and Lewis to join me and we played the Incursion. And yeah, I will not be returning to the game mode, whatever you want to call it, ever again. It was a complete waste of time. It's such a bad idea to put something like this in the game, the way they've done it at least. Because everything players have complained about for the last few years, they've gone and slapped in this mode. So you start off having to clear this estate and you go through and then there's turrets, which are really, really overpowered. But at the same time, you're fighting cleaners, and these cleaners have essentially just become variations of themselves, and that's their way of amping up the difficulty to create an incursion. It's like a mini raid. But not only that, the first moment I launched the game, I was sat there, invited Pete in, and he said, "Why have I been demoted in the clan?" So I went and had a look, and the clan I founded many years ago, I wasn't even a part of anymore. And the only ones that had access to be able to remove members and do things like that were me being the founder, Pete and Lewis because I promoted them. Everyone else was like your basic agent. Except now, I wasn't in my own fucking clan that I had created. I had to rejoin my own clan. I don't know how it happened, I don't know why it happened, but it did. So now I'm just a standard level agent in a clan that I founded years ago. But sitting there playing the Incursion, it's awful. I think it's ever since Legendary came into the game for the strongholds, players have asked the developers to stop spamming stuff because one of the Legendary strongholds, you get to the garage section, I think it's district, I'm not entirely sure. And when you arrive in this garage section, it's just drone after drone after drone. And even in, I believe it's Capital, there's just grenade spam in one of the rooms. It's a mess. And we've asked the devs to stop spamming stuff. But you get into this Incursion, and from the very get-go, you have mortar spam, whilst there's enemies that are hitting you hard, including snipers, which are capable of two-tapping you, or if you're quite low on health, they can down you in a single shot. So you've got a lot of pressure on you as soon as you get into this Incursion. And it's just pointless. But alongside the spamming, fire damage has been a problem, turrets have been a problem, the mini-tanks, the dogs, they hit really, really hard. They've always needed toning down, and the developers have never bothered doing it. But yeah, with those being problems, there is fire damage because you're against the cleaners. There are turrets at the start which are very overpowered. They will destroy your shield in seconds, so it makes running a survivability build tough, which it shouldn't be because you're there as a tank, but you can't tank against these turrets because they're far too strong. And these cleaners, yeah, at the start, the basic level cleaners, they have no tanks on them, so you can't destroy the tanks on their backs, and you can't deal a lot of damage to them that way. And that's their variation to amp up the difficulty to take the explosive tanks off their backs. But as you get further through the Incursion, they end up having upgraded flamethrowers where they're spewing out purple flames and deal extra damage to you. So the things we've complained about, they've chucked into this game mode, this mission, whatever you want to call it, the Incursion. But not only that, the very first, I'm going to say, main boss in this Incursion, known as Right, he's in this room, you've got a bunch of sprinklers, you've got to take him on one of the pads where the sprinklers are. It basically cools him down, takes the purple flames away so that you can deal damage. Otherwise, he is immune to everything. Yeah, we got him to, it worked once. We managed to get him to go onto one of the platforms. We, basically cooled him down, we dealt damage. But the second time round, we're trying to get him on the pads, we're trying to use the sprinklers. We get this prick onto the actual pad, use the sprinkler, and he does not cool down. So he stays immune and ruins our entire run. So there's a bug in the Incursion already. I've seen people complaining that it's crashing. There's problem after problem in this Incursion. But not only that, there was 3 of us, me, Pete and Lewis. So we tried getting a 4th, joining through matchmaking. And what players seem to be doing is joining through matchmaking. They try and rush the first area solo, so they don't bother waiting for you to catch up or anything like that. They try speedrunning this like they're playing the latest Call of Duty title. And then when they're at the turret section, they're being spammed, there's infinite spawns, there's heavies, and everything like that. They go down, they just quit. And that happened twice before we found someone that still did the same thing, but they stayed with us. we got them back up, like they gave us enough time to get them back up, and they carried on through the fight with us as far as we got. But yeah, a lot of players are joining, trying to rush it, and then when they're going down because they're trying to solo it, yeah, they're just leaving, and it got really, really frustrating seeing that happen. So overall, the Incursion's a piece of shit. It's not worth playing. There's probably no different rewards to what you get for doing standard missions and stuff. There's problems in there. The players you're matchmaking with can be dodgy sometimes. The game kicked me out my own clan, and I mean, I don't know what there is at this point. I also looked through the season, because they've extended those by an extra month. They're now 4 months instead of 3. And what I saw was events for the next 14 weeks, but the season's running for 18 weeks. So there's going to be an entire month of nothing from the developers until this season ends. And not only that, I did a little bit of reading up, and I found that they have said, I don't know if this is set in stone, but they've said after year 5, once they're done with that and the story DLC, they're done adding new content to the game. They're basically going back into maintenance mode, which is what they did. I think it was quite shortly after the release of Warlords of New York. They left for like 18 months. But this time, they're going into maintenance mode. They're just going to keep up with the updates and stuff like the weekly maintenance or whatever they're going to do. They're going to keep up with that. And then eventually in 4 years' time or whatever, we might get Division 3. So I think the Division 2 is pretty much over. They're just going to add like the remaining DLC and stuff to it that they're in the middle of creating or whatever. But this Incursion was a complete waste of time. In my opinion, some players might enjoy it. I've seen people completing it and stuff. Whoop-de-doo, congrats, you've completed an Incursion, cool. In my opinion, it was a piece of shit, complete waste of mine and my friend's time. Won't be returning to it, but I thought I'd at least give it a shot, see what I thought of it, and let you guys know. And on that note, we are going to leave the video there. If you enjoyed it, leaving a like is appreciated. If you wish to support me further as a creator, there are links in the description. Let me know your thoughts about the video in the comments. And if you want to watch more, you can click the video on screen. All support on the channel is greatly appreciated, and I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching.